Hey guys, this is Irie StarCraft, and I'm going to be casting another game for you tonight. This will be a 2v2 on Tarsonis Assault, and this will be a rematch of the previous matchup. As we see, ROOTDrewbie is asking. Apparently, Rush and ProTech have not actually even placed as a team, so they are brand new, and he is bitter because they don't get any points if they beat. Yeah, this is one thing about the ladder system that is a bit screwy, if you will, is the placement matches and how you don't get any points apparently. Like if you beat a team that is just placing, even though they are obviously super high level players like Rush and ProTech, just because they haven't played together, they won't get any points if they beat them. Either way. That is a little bit frustrating. You wish maybe that the ladder system could be a little bit smarter and sort of take a look at some of the other records and see that, you know, say for example, ProTech's winning percentage is like, you know, 80-something%, and they could maybe award some points. But either way, this is going to be Rush, who will be the red Zerg, and ProTech will be on Protoss again. He will be the blue Protoss, excuse me, and he will be going against Mindset, the teal Protoss, and ROOTDrewbie, the purple Terran. So I think the colors maybe got switched around a little bit, but the races are all going to be identical. And this is, I mean, you saw what happened last game. The Zerglings just made it right through the entrance of Mindset, and that was pretty much game. So as we see so many times in these 2v2s with Zerg players are present, the early Zerglings, again, some fairly early Zerglings going to be coming out from Rush, and I think most of these guys actually do a 10 pool. One of these games I'm going to pay closer attention at the beginning instead of just blabbing about random stuff. But you guys who have been watching could probably have seen that was probably a 10 pool, and so he's going to send his Zerglings out as usual. Every Zerg player in these high-level 2v2s sends the Lings out to try and annoy at the beginning, and it just dictates the rest of the game, because you force this player to either wall off, and see now Mindset is opting, he's not even going to bother trying to wall off the front. What instead he's going to do is try and create an extended sort of passageway through his mineral line here, and that way when the Zerglings come in, he'll be able to use his probes to try and wall off these entrances, and then use his Zealot and or Stalker in conjunction with those probes to try and fight off those early Zerglings. So really, the early game in these team games is so intense, because the slightest little differences can make a huge, they can have a huge effect on the rest of the game, as you saw last game with just enough space for a couple of Zerglings to get around a Stalker, and that's all she wrote. So we'll see how they will deal with the early Zergling pressure from Rush. Again, this time, ROOTDrewbie not opting to wall off, but not needing to, he's got a bunch of Marines out very quickly. So with so many Marines out this early for ROOTDrewbie, these Zerglings may not be able to do much. They're going to come up here and quickly find out, actually no, they're going to see that there's no wall off there. Did he even check that? I got to check his vision. He did see that there's no wall off there. And so, are they going to try and attack that? No. Instead of, see, Mindset, actually this has deterred the attack, the fact that he built back here and created this little passageway. But instead what they're going to do is sort of set up camp outside the base, and now that the speed is done from Rush, he's going to be able to do some serious harassment. There are two Zealots back here blocking this mineral line though. Will the Zerglings try and come around the back? No, they're going to go right after this Cybernetics core, and the probes have to pull off because the threat of losing that Cybernetics core could do such a game changer right now. A third warp gate is now coming in for Mindset, and ROOTDrewbie with a lot of Marines scooting over here, leaving his own base a little vulnerable there, but gonna pull back now. Gonna try and possibly trap these units with the Marines, but there are a lot of Stalkers now in conjunction with a bunch of Zerglings, and these Zerglings, can they get any kind of surround on the Stalkers in the back? No, they're gonna go right after the Zealots and start corralling these probes. There are so many Zerglings out here though, these probes are just getting torn apart, and ProTech meanwhile is firing away, trying to kill the Stalkers in the back, now shooting down some probes, and the Marines have arrived from ROOTDrewbie trying to focus down ProTech Stalkers now in conjunction with Mindset Stalkers. They are going to force that attack back, but at what cost? Because Mindset lost so many probes right there, and now Rush still has a bunch of Zerglings on the map. Gonna find out that is walled in with Marines at ROOTDrewbie's base, and now there are some sentries on the field for ProTech. So will the force field play be the difference in this game? We will see, because the pressure is going to keep coming. Rush just pumping out Zerglings, pumping out more and more Zerglings. ProTech gives the G call, so these guys don't even bother waiting more than a second. And here we go. Look at splitting those Marines right there. Very nicely. Look at the Zerglings killing a lot of those Marines. ROOTDrewbie trying desperately to shoot and scoot and micro back away from the Zerglings, but all of those go down. ProTech, meanwhile, is trying to shoot at these stalkers from Mindset. Everybody's microing all over the battlefield right now, back and forth, shooting and scooting. But it looks like Rush and ProTech taking the upper hand in that battle. The force field splitting the Marines made a big difference there. And that is not something you see too often. Usually you see the splits coming perpendicular to the army, if you will, rather than parallel. Maybe that is not the correct use of those descriptions, but you guys know what I meant right there. And it actually worked out very well, splitting those Marines in half. And now Mindset with a force field of his own, trying to force these stalkers back into the reinforcements here. And could this ball of stalkers go down? They are killing so many probes, though. The Zerglings coming over here to try and kill some Marines, but those will quickly go down. And it looks like there's going to be just enough to ward this attack back. The problem is that Mindset and ROOTDrewbie have been forced to use SCVs and probes to fight this entire time. And they're going to be so far behind now, and now the Zerglings from Rush are loose in the Terran base, and they are just wreaking havoc everywhere. So ROOTDrewbie is forced to fall back to his base to deal with these Zerglings. Meanwhile, ProTech is just chasing the Marines down with his Stalkers, and Stalkers very effective against Marines when the Marine numbers are not at a critical mass. And these SCVs trying to ward this stuff back, but this is just desperation time now. And Mindset leaves the game. ROOTDrewbie talking a little bit of extra trash before he leaves the game. So a couple of intense matchups right there. These were sent to me by ProTech. Thank you, ProTech. Thank you guys for watching. This is Irie StarCraft, and peace out.